Hello, and welcome to our monthly agility webinar. I'm Brendan. I'm just happy to be here. I'm having a nice time. It is the Thursday before a long weekend, and I'm looking forward to that. I don't know about everybody else. Today, pretty exciting webinar. We're going to just kind of like talk CX, introduce our customer experience team, get to know each other a little bit, and answer any questions that you guys might have for us. As always, I'm Brendan. I'm the Director of Customer Experience with Agility. I've been here for a couple of years. Joining me today, I've got Jason, our technical specialist, who I'll let introduce himself as well in a couple of seconds, and Kevin as well, who's joined us recently as our new senior CSM. We'll let them kind of like do introductions today, and then later on in the episode, I guess it's kind of an episode, right? Like our new Agility, season 1 of Agility CMS. But at the end of the webinar, I'm going to also show off Focal Point, which is a new feature that we've added to Agility as well that I think could use some more love. And we'll just kind of go from there. I'll toss it over to Jason, let you kind of introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you. What do you like? What's your role? How long you been here? All that fun stuff.
Thanks, Brendan. Like you said, my name's Jason. I'm a technical specialist here at Agility, and I've been here since, January now. So better part of a year, which is kind of crazy to think about. Um, yeah, and I'm kind of the face behind the name. So every time you're tracking into support and you see Jason on the little thing there, that's me who you're talking to. So hello.
The man behind the profile picture.
Exactly.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the kind of like things that you own day to day in Agility, as far as like maybe feedback loop or how that kind of works, tools that you use
Yeah,
to manage
absolutely.
things like
So
that.
we actually made a pretty recent transition. So my day to day is I answer all the support requests as well as just looking for ways to improve support processes and things like that, make things more efficient for not only us, but for our customers and when they chat in or send us emails, things like that. Escalating issues to our developers whenever there's a issue or even just a bit of feedback on something that may be going on with your instance. That's me sending it right up to developers and being the in-between guy. So main stuff that I use. So we use Intercom, which is a CMS platform, not CMS. I forget the
A
thing,
support
but
platform.
support platform that creates tickets for us. It's also where we host our chat. It was a recent transition. You may have noticed in your instance that your chat widget changed a little, and I'll get into that a little later.
So much nicer.
It's so much nicer. There's a lot more tracking, not only for us,
Yeah.
but for you, and seeing your tickets and the statuses and things like that, alerting you when there's a new message, all that kind of stuff. So we're really happy to have transitioned to Intercom.
Nice. And outside of kind of, feedback loop, support, triaging things, making sure everybody's getting taken care of, all of the many things that you do that you are underselling a little bit. Jason's really come in here and he's like really overhauled our support. I did a bit of an overhaul when I came in as well. But just like really making sure that we're having an incredible customer experience, whether it's just like reaching out via chat or email, making sure that people are taken care of, having the right people on calls if we need to like hop on and help customers walk through anything. Jason is the guy for that. But outside of that, Jason, like, tell us a little bit more just about you. What do you like? What are your hobbies? What do you do? Who's
Oh,
Jason?
Jason's a giant nerd. I tell you what, I love things like reading comic books, music. I would say my biggest fandom of the last many years would be Warhammer. So building the models and painting, it's kind of my screenless hobby. I always try to have a hobby that doesn't involve movies and television, not looking at a screen. So that's definitely my main hobby. Um, yeah, and I recently moved to my first house, which was really exciting for my wife and I, and our little dog Archie, who now has a backyard, which he just absolutely loves. And yeah, moved a fair away from our last city that we lived in, which was Waterloo, but it's not too far, and we're still within distance of family and friends, so it's worked out really well for us.
Nice. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Um, don't want to like take all of our time, but I want to also introduce Kevin and let Kevin introduce himself. Hi, Kevin. Who are you? What do you do? What do you like? What's your job?
Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you, everyone. My role here is the new senior customer success manager here at Agility. I've been here for, I would say, just under 2 months now. So, as you can see, I am the new guy. And so, my job here is in charge of taking over like the customer renewals, handling a lot of like the relationships. I'll be sort of like your champion, your voice here at Agility. So if you haven't had a chance to talk to me, please do reach out. I'd love to meet you. Love to understand how you're using Agility, how we can actually use Agility better. So you might be seeing some emails come out from me. So please don't ignore me. I do want to talk to you. I do want to make sure you're getting the most out of Agility, and have those conversations. If you are having troubles, if you want to pass on some feedback to our product teams, to our marketing teams, good or bad, we'd love to hear it. So that's kind of what I do at a gist, but a lot more on the back end. So looking forward to meeting you all.
For sure. And that's something too that we're really revamping and overhauling as well, is kind of like our customer success process and what that looks like, making sure that we're having, those regular conversations with customers and managing those relationships, checking in and seeing how things are going, and just overall just doing better there and having better relationships, letting you guys get to know us a little bit more, but also getting to know you guys a little bit more, which is really important in our relationship as well. And outside of your kind of like day to day, who are you, Kevin? What do you like? What are your hobbies? What are you into?
Yeah. I like Jason, also a big nerd.
Like all of
Um,
us.
like everyone else, yeah.
Yeah.
Also a dog dad. I guess like the nerdy side of things. I've like like fun little fact. I've caught up to One Piece. If you're not familiar with it, it's like an anime that has I think over 1,100 episodes now. So it's taken quite a journey, but it's been a fun one. If you can see probably in my background, I also do collect what I call like designer toys. They like one thing here, they're called like bear bricks. They do collaborations with different artists or different brands. I've got some sitting around me. They come in all different shapes and sizes. So the ones here, which we call them like
Oh, shit.
400% ones. But we also have big ones, which are like
Oh
1,000%
my God.
ones, which are
Wow.
really cool. So just different hobbies, but also I'm very outdoorsy. I love camping, doing reportaging, or just car camping. And then also I've recently taken up the game of golf, which is terrible for my mental health, but also great at the same time. But yeah, a little bit more personal side about me there.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Although I will tell, I was the first person in my family to score a hole in one.
Oh,
Yeah.
at
That's
mini
It was,
golf.
impressive.
yeah. Thank you so much. It was Mario Golf, and I was playing as Yoshi on the GameCube, and it was really great. But I crushed it. Still play that game to this day.
You can call yourself a golfer now.
Yeah. Good. It's like a good family, like wholesome family golf game. I always played with my parents. My dad was always Mario and my mom was always Birdo. And when somebody else is golfing, you have like the other buttons that you can press to like taunt people. I don't know if you can still do that in the new ones, but those voices and those taunts are still like just stuck in my head. Anytime I hear that game, every single time. Great game though, big fan. The new one's not as good, but I'll stop
Not
ranting
as
about
good.
Mario.
Oh,
No, but I'll stop ranting about Mario Golf rather. um, cool. Why don't we show off a little bit? I've got Jason's screen up here. I think it's the switch that we've made to intercom is really cool. Previously, the chat that we had, it was great. It did its purpose. It served its job. It did its time well, but it didn't allow really great tracking or notifications within Agility, which was feedback that we often got. So we wanted to transition to something that was a little bit more robust, a little bit more user friendly, allowed some better interactions. And I'll just pop Jason's screen up here, and I'll kind of like let him show off what it looks like to the end user if you haven't already used it. And also remember, guys, that this is like an AMA. This is like your session for customer
mhm.
experience and to ask us questions. So feel free if you have any questions at all around agility, around customer experience, things that we might be working on, or just like general feedback or ideas that you might have. Feel free to drop that in the comments as well. And in the meantime, I will add Jason's screen up here to the stage, and I'll kind of like let him show you what chat looks like in agility now.
Awesome. Thanks, Brendan. So, like Brendan said, we integrated our new chat and we love it so much. It's still in the same location here, but you might have noticed that the entire widget has changed. So you can kind of see some profile pictures here and also a bunch of tabs. So I'll just take you through what you need to do to send us a message and also track your own tickets and messages. So if I just wanted to chat in, as simple as clicking that button, you'll get our little greeting here. And you just send us a message. Just like that. And then immediately I'll get a notification and I'll answer it as soon as possible, as always. Just answer here, and I'll take you through our sort of ticket tracking process in the widget. All right, so you can see there, you got the response right away. What also has happened is you can see here a ticket has been created. So anytime you chat in, it also generates a support ticket. And this is our method of tracking as well as escalation and things like that. So there's a couple of buttons here. You can see this is just the chat, but you can always click this and you can see the progress of your ticket as well, or its current status. So right now it's just submitted. And so what submitted means is it's gone in and someone has taken a look at it here. So what would usually happen is you'll see it change to in progress once we are taking a look at it. So you can see that's updated there. You can always go back, you can exit, and the chat does not delete or anything like that. It remembers exactly where you were, which is really great. So here on the home widget, if you reopen it, you can see it's kind of changed a little. So you can see your recent messages here, as well as you can see your ticket. So this is something we're really excited about that changed with Intercom, is you can go in and see your ticket status is here. So you can also see your tickets. There's a ticket tab here. You can see I've got a couple of resolved ones. So you can see all the statuses in a quick little widget right here, as well as if you have any pending messages, just like Brendan kindly sent in a new chat, and it's so amazing. I agree.
It's incredible.
Completely incredible. Thank you, Simon Cowell.
This is awesome. It really, like you said, it lets people actually like see this progress of their ticket, know exactly where it is, be able to follow along. It's just a nicer, cleaner, snappier interface. And you know, who doesn't love a good GIF?
Yeah. GIF keyboard. I think that was probably the main reason we moved over here, if I recall the internal discussions. So we can see here it's changed to waiting on you. So that would be basically we asked you a question or something like that. We're just waiting on a response from you. And then the final status is, of course, resolved. So once we feel like the ticket has been resolved, our conversation is kind of closed. We'll resolve the ticket and we'll close it on our end. But you will always see, even if the ticket is closed, you will see the list of your existing tickets here. And you can always go in and just reopen one by clicking continue the conversation. So
yeah,
really great interface there.
And I don't know if you mentioned this as well while I was digging for a GIF. Apologies if you did. But just the fact that also, like, whether it's a chat or not, even if you send in an email that's associated with your account, you can see that in there as well. So you can see the history of like your email tickets that have come through, which is really cool. And on our side, or I guess on Jason's side, it's also connected to your Agility instance. So we can see where you were. So if you're referring to like a specific page or thing that you were working on, we can like really easily click it and follow you around, which is awesome and makes the support process a little bit more interactive and a little easier as well for you.
Exactly. Yep. Everything we can do to make the process as seamless and painless as possible.
That's awesome. Really cool. Like, it's a little small things, little tiny quality of life upgrades that really change and enhance and improve the customer experience across the board on our side and on the customer side, which is nice. And that brings me to, you know, Aaron's question as well that he popped in here, which is, what's your favorite hidden gem of the platform? And I'm going to show off one of my new favorite hidden gems in the platform on my screen. If I can pop it back up here. And this is something that we've recently rolled out. You may have seen this already. It may not be new to you, but it's new to most people if you didn't know that this was already rolled out. It was kind of a quiet rollout, but we added focal point to images, which is really exciting as well. And we have updated documentation on this too. So once I show this off, if this is something that you want to be able to implement in your system, you can do that as well through the documentation. It's just on the Agility doc site under transformation, queries, and a focal point. And it's going to give you the full rundown of kind of like how it works step by step with screenshots. Jason recently built that out. And it's also going to let you know the little tweaks that you have to make on your side to make sure that your focal points are coming through properly in your images. But if we pop over into the assets section here in my test instance, I can go into any one of these images here, and I can go into edit. And now you'll see on the right-hand side here, we have focal point. So there's already a focal point that's set. You can show where it is here, and you'll get this little icon in the middle that lets you know where your focal point has been set. You can hide that, and if you need to edit it as well, you can go into edit. You can click on focal point, and you can select a new focal point wherever you want on the image, which is really exciting as well. And that way your front end knows how to properly display your image and where to focus if it needs to focus on a specific area of the image or crop it. And really that easy. All you have to do, go in there, boom, do that, done. Incredible. It's a little quality of life feature, but it's something that a lot of customers had asked for. Took a little bit more lift on our end to actually like implement it and get it working in a way that really makes sense and makes sense to the users. Something that we kind of went back and forth with the users on to make sure it was working the way that they wanted to work and was designed in a way that made sense for them. But now that it's in there, that's something that you can start using right away. It's live, it's in Agility. That's one of my favorite hidden features inside of Agility. And the other one that I personally use the most is probably just the ability to like resize my screen. I do it all the time. I don't think a lot of people realize that you can do it, but just being able to like go in here, unpin something, give yourself a bit more room if you're working on another screen, being able to pop that back open as needed, be able to collapse this as well and just see it as you kind of like hover over and want to expand it. And being able to do that in the content and the pages area too with your sidebars. You can give yourself so much more space to work in Agility if you're working in a smaller screen. You can unpin this on the side so that it only pops over as you need it and just kind of collapse everything and have a nice little clean working area. That's my favorite feature. I don't know if anybody else has a favorite feature that they want to share. Bueller? No, just me? Incredible. That's fine.
I would say I'm still surprised that some people still aren't aware of like the web studio and how cool that is, and still building it in like a little frame there. So if you haven't had a chance to learn about the web studio, make sure to take a look at that as well.
For sure. Also something that we tried to make like as easy as possible to implement and get working on your side with as little lift as possible, though there is some lift. But even out of the box, as long as you have a preview experience, you can see your previews without having to open them in a new window. And we did a whole webinar too on Web Studio and how that works. So always feel free to like pop over to our YouTube channel. While you're there, obviously click subscribe to our channel, like things, comment things, follow us on LinkedIn. I'm going to throw in plugs whenever I can, guys. That's what I'm here for. But while you're there, you can also check out previous live recordings, and you can see our webinar on Web Studio, which I think you'll find really helpful as well. And we have another question here from JP, where he asks, what's unique about your approach to customer experience? Which I think is a great question. And I will start by saying I have worked at a lot of tech companies, a lot of startups, I started my career in like call centers and customer support. My very first call center job was working for Xbox customer support, which was not as fun as you think it might have been. But something that I learned is that a lot of companies say that they're customer focused and say that they care about customer experience. But then as soon as somebody who actually deals with customers has feedback from customers and wants to share it, a lot of the time that falls on deaf ears. Companies have an idea of what they want to do, what they want to build, and how they want to go about things already. And Agility is truly a company that I can say like cares about customer experience. And that's what gets me so excited about working here. We have multiple regular recurring meetings where we can talk about customer experience, about customer feedback. We have a bi-weekly sync where we just talk about like cool small wins that we can do. Sorry about that. where we can do like cool small wins, little things that we can do to quickly improve customer experience. Talk about really cool customer experience interactions that we've had in our day-to-day lives, but also that we might have just like heard around, and what we can learn from those things and apply to agility. And then we also have regular bi-weekly sync, kind of opposite to that, where we review all of the customer feedback that's come through. We try and see, how much work would it be to implement this customer's feedback? What kind of ideas did they have? How much improvement and like impact would that feature have for customers, not just that customer, but all of our customers? So we can talk about that and make decisions around those. And we have stakeholders from every department on those calls, so that everyone is involved, everyone is customer facing, everyone has some sort of input on customer experience. That's really exciting. But also just that we have core values that all kind of surround customer experience as well. Like customer experience as itself may not be a core value, but every one of our core values leads us towards providing a better customer experience. So our core values, which you can find on our website, are things like learn it and teach it. Anytime we learn something, make sure that we're passing that on internally to other people within agility, but also to our customers. Always be innovating, build trust, make it fun. All of these things kind of go towards being able to provide a good employee experience as well as a good customer experience. And if your employees aren't having a nice experience, neither will your customers. That's my spiel on what I think sets apart customer experience at agility and what makes me excited about it. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add from your perspectives. I ranted a little bit, but I'll toss it over to you guys. What do you think is what sets us apart as far as customer experience?
For
Yeah,
me,
sorry.
go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, being the new guy here, it's like it's kind of like a little bit refreshing to see, like joining the team meetings and seeing sort of like that underlying tone of everyone's always just like customer focused. And being at some other companies before, working in customer success, that's not always the case. Like sometimes it's very like revenue driven, or if it's always just like firefighting, or if it's just dealing with like, or maybe it's like super product focused. And it's good to have all those in mind. But at Agility, what I'm seeing is that like a lot of the conversations that we have is how do we put like the customer first? How do we give the customers like a great customer experience? And the team's always focused on like how do we just have good relationships? And I think that's why like the company is going the direction that it is. And so it is really refreshing to see that the company does have such a great or such a large and important focus on the customer. So to me, it sums up sort of everything Brendan has said, and seeing it with like fresh eyes is really great.
Yeah, I agree. What were you going to add, Jason?
For me, I think the biggest, I wouldn't even say it was a shock, but like, not only do we have an amazing developer team, like a group of engineers, but they're so hands-on with support. Never in my like 15 plus years of working at tech companies in customer service in one way or another, have I seen a development team that strives to not only help the customer, but talk to them personally and try to figure out what's going on and join calls directly and things like that. And that was just such a different experience for me. And I think it's been such a positive for everyone.
Yeah, and it takes some getting used to, especially coming from previous companies.
Does.
Like, it's
It
like, well,
really
what do you
does.
mean? What do you mean you actually want to hear what we have to say about customers in the conversation that we're having? What do you mean you're willing to just like jump on a call and talk to our customers? Like,
What's
yeah,
going on? You're
regardless
not just
of
over here in your own pod? Like,
yeah, right. Regardless of the role here, like everyone is down to like interact with customers. Everyone regularly has customer facing conversations. And it's really cool. Like you said, the fact that even our product team, our development team, our engineers are willing to just like hop on a call and not just answer a question, but even if it's not directly, an issue on agility side, and it's just, something that you're working through on your end and you need to bounce ideas off somebody, our team's like willing to just like hop on a call and like have that conversation
absolutely.
and help you out. And it's weird. It's weird in like the best way possible.
Yes. It's almost uncomfortable in the best way possible.
Yeah, it
In
takes
a
some
way,
getting
like,
used to. Yeah, it's great.
yeah, it definitely takes getting used to. But as I get more and more used to it, and it becomes comfortable, I feel like it should just be the norm everywhere. And I can't figure out why it's not, to be honest.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Another question that somebody had when they found out we were doing this webinar was like, how do we use customer feedback to make product decisions? And we touched on that a little bit as far as our feedback loop goes, and the fact that we review that feedback bi-weekly with stakeholders from everybody across the company. Every department has a say and has a seat at the table, which is really great. But it's one thing to say like, oh, everybody at Agility has a seat at the table and has here's the customer feedback, and that's really cool. But it's the fact that we loop in our customers to that feedback as well. So a lot of the time, if a specific idea or a feature request came from one of our customers and we decide to take action on that piece of feedback, obviously on our end, we go through like, what's the lift? What's the complexity of this issue? How long is it going to take to kind of like work through? Is it worth doing? Are there enough? Is it going to be enough of a benefit to everybody? And then we go through a design process on our side as well. And once we have an idea of what we think that feature should look like based on the feedback that we got from the customer, oftentimes we go back to the customer with that. We just say like, hey, do you have time to like hop on a call and we can show you what we're working on? And we show them the feature that we're building that they asked about, or we give them early access to that feature to play around with it a little bit and be like, is this what you had in mind? Is this what you were actually thinking about when you shared that feedback with us? So we can iterate on it and make sure that it's going to serve the purpose that the customer wanted it to serve, and that it fits into their workflow in a way that makes sense. And that's also, I think, something that's pretty rare is, actually bringing it back to the customer and getting their feedback, and then getting feedback from other customers as well, who may not have requested the feature, but it will be a benefit to their workflow just based on the conversations that you've had and what you know about that user, and then taking that and putting that feedback into the final product, which is cool for a number of reasons. Like, it gives the customers a sense of ownership to be able to like see their thing and know like, hey, this was my idea. I had a say in how this works. Now it's in Agility, and it feels like a little bit like it's kind of mine. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that too with the features and the feedback that I've had at Agility, just knowing that I can go in there and be like, hey, that was my idea and I see it in there and it works and it's exactly what I wanted it to do. It's cool. Yeah. It's just cool. And I like it.
Just like Morrow's comment, like real people, real help in the age of AI. Like I've worked with a ton of customers before, and like they can use the self-service, they can use the chats, and sometimes they get the answers, sometimes they don't. But when it comes to feedback, they just want to feel heard, right? So being able to get that voice of the customer out makes them just feel that much better. It might not necessarily solve their problems, but as long as they feel like it's been heard, as long as they feel like the company is addressing it in some way, then it might just be good enough for them there.
Yeah, agreed. Especially like on the AI comment, like you can both be innovating and ahead of the curve when it comes to things like AI. At Agility, obviously we believe in AI and the power that it can bring to improving people's workflows and just like day-to-day life in the platform. But at the same time, like you just want a person. And when you're dealing with you don't want to just be dealing with a brand. Like, yeah, thanks brand for all of your time and your energy, but also I want to talk to a person. I don't want to talk to a robot. And that's something that kind of sets us apart. Like, we innovate when it comes to things like AI and how we can improve headless CMS and what the future of that is going to look like. But you also just have access to people. And you know what? One day we may implement some sort of AI chat or helper that you can talk to improve your workflow, or maybe it has specific insight into your instance and how you use Agility, which will be really great day to day for your team. But you're always going to have the option to talk to a person, and you're never going to be like kind of stopped by a bot, because I don't know about you guys, but I think what sets us apart is our innovation, but also our people, which is kind of why we wanted to have this webinar, to show off our people, to introduce our team. These are the people that you talk to every single day, and we wanted to kind of showcase that. And we had one more question there from Maro as well, is why is it important to share our product roadmap with customers where other companies may keep it under lock and key? And that kind of brings back to what I was saying before as well, as far as, it gives customers a sense of ownership in the product, to see their feedback and to see how it's being implemented in Agility. And it shows them that they're heard, and it shows them that we're listening, right? They can see all of the ideas that we have, and being able to see that roadmap, have an idea of the feedback that we have and the things that we're working on, is also going to spark more ideas as well. whether it's a little thing inside of agility that you'd like to see improved or a big new feature that you'd like to see added. Having insights into that, knowing that you're heard, knowing that we're listening, it sparks ideas and it sparks innovation. And that's one of our core values.
100%.
Excellent. Well, you look at that. It was an excellent way, I think, to end the webinar.
I think so too.
Appreciate the question. I appreciate both of you taking the time to jump on here. I know it's a little bit out of your comfort zone, but this was great. I think it was wonderful.
It's really great.
Appreciate everyone who took the time to jump on and watch this webinar. It'll be up on our YouTube if you want to watch a replay or if you want to share it with anybody. And again, make sure that you subscribe. If you want to see more webinars in the future, keep an eye on our community Slack or our emails if you want to know what we're working on next. And make sure you follow us on LinkedIn because we're dope and we want to show off our people. These are our people, and I think we're a good crew, and we want to hear from you and want to connect with you as well. So thank you again for your time, and we will see you in our next monthly webinar. Goodbye.